Yesterday was Google I/O. It was also my son's birthday, first birthday. And
I'm
received...
sorry, I did not know that.
No, you're good. I received an exciting piece of mail. My federal firearms license.
Holy shit. Who are you? What in the fuck? I have a cold.
Oh,
I have
no.
a runny nose. I have phlegm all up in my fucking shit. I think it's a bacterial infection. So as soon as I have time to get antibiotics, I'll have it done and over with. But that's not until next Tuesday.
Bummer.
So until then, my antioxidant of choice.
Antibiotic Mr. Jameson.
Yeah, anti something. So that's cool. Well, congrats on becoming. Never mind.
Lord of War.
Ding 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 ding.
All right, let's get this show on the road.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to all the cosmic squirrels navigating the multiverse. This is episode 19 of the Geeqoid podcast, where your hosts, Jarrad and myself, Erik, discuss the latest trending topics, whether it be gaming, news, tech, rumors, or just exciting indie games that we are super pumped about. And I am super pumped about this week's that is releasing tomorrow from a Swedish game studio. So we'll get to that in a bit. But there's some pretty exciting things that have happened over the last few days. There's Microsoft Build, Google I/O, tons of announcements coming out of both of those. But first, I want to say Fortnite is back on iOS, baby.
I saw that.
Yeah. Epic Games and Tim Sweeney are taking a victory lap after the court injunction basically forced Apple's hand.
There's already people doing performance tests on how well it does on the M4 iPad Pro.
I mean, here's the thing. It jumped to the number one game in the rankings on iOS for at least adventure games. So,
Welcome
surprised
back.
by that. Yeah. I guess let's get right into it. I was going to have a big piece on Microsoft Build after I watched the keynote. Satya did a great job, but
What is Microsoft Build?
so all these big tech companies, they have their developer conferences once a year. Apple has WWDC, which is coming June 9th, if I'm not mistaken.
Very soon.
Google has I/O, Microsoft has Build.
Okay.
Facebook/Meta has... They have something. I can't remember what it's called. I've never watched it. Blue, green, red, blue, diode.
This is a true techies fidget toy.
Oh. I thought you were trying to give me a hint.
No.
No, okay. So Microsoft and Google both have their developer conferences this week. Microsoft, being the more business-centric company that they are, unveiled a whole bunch of stuff related to agentic AI. So agentic AI, for those who don't know, is this concept that now that you have LLMs, large language models, and AI able to return all these amazing things, how do you connect that with your applications in the cloud and in the real world? And so what they are building towards is what they refer to the open agentic web. And it's this concept that there will be billions of AI agents running around behind the scenes doing stuff on our behalf. And they showed off some really, really incredible things. One of the most kind of show-stopping things was this new research agent. Basically, you give it a problem some parameters, and it will review all the existing literature, come up with a hypothesis, a test plan, and it will run through using AI simulations and then spit you out some examples that you need to run in the real world. And they did this live on stage, and they basically discovered a new cooling method for water-cooled compute that they are now testing and planning to put into their data centers. They did this ahead of time, but they showed the process on stage, and then they actually showed the new liquid that they discovered with a computer running inside a bath of said liquid. And I thought that was pretty incredible. And it really just kind of goes to show that everything that we've been building, the internet, mobile devices, all this GPUs and kind of all this silicon and infrastructure is all building to this one AI moment, which is really set to be the most transformative period, I would say, in our lifetimes. It's probably set to be more impactful than the internet itself or mobile phones or anything. It's going to see technology, research, productivity, everything just start compounding and moving faster. Things are moving too fast already for my taste because I can't hardly keep up with it. And it's only going to get faster.
Yeah, I worry, I was Googling, like, what were all of the fictional PCs that were in various movies? Skynet, Animus. So it was a bad movie, but it's there too. Dave, I think, from 2000 Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
My catch is, like, it's going to go so fast that people are going to make mistakes, or it's going to go so fast that people can put things in that will have direct control for them and not possibly in a great way. But you know what? This is the new tech Wild West.
Yeah, it's a fun time to be in tech, I will say, because everything's crazy. It feels like we're just starting over. Like, if you missed the original explosion of the internet and everything that happened there, like, it's happening again with AI, and everything is being rethought. New companies are being formed. There's new opportunities all over the place. We'll get into a ton of that. And one of the things that I wanted to call out for Microsoft Build, so GitHub Copilot has been around, but they have this new coding agent, and they were doing some live demos where you basically open an issue in the issue tracker on GitHub, give it some details of what you want it to do. The AI goes, okay, it'll run off, create a pull request, make all the requisite changes, document it, and then give it back to you and be like, all right, I think we're good to go. If you just approve this, we'll merge it and submit it into your code base.
Jesus.
So, yeah. And here's the thing. They were talking about some of these coding agents and coding assistants are generating, I think it was like 100,000 accepted lines of code an hour. It was either a minute or an hour. Like, it is just, and that's just one tool. Like, programmers, engineers are able to generate a ton more code, and it's only going to increase with these new agents, and the agents are getting better. And I'm going to take some time this weekend. I'm going to spin up some cool stuff, I think. And it's, like I said, it's a crazy time to be in tech.
What are you going to try to do this weekend? Like, what are you going to experiment with or test or play around with?
Well, so I do want to create a personal landing page, because I've had my website domain for ages. I used to have a website. I want to bring that back just as a landing page. And then I want to try and build some bots or agents that can help automate and streamline some of the marketing activities that I'm looking to do for my side business. Because that's a part of the business that I don't particularly enjoy, and it's mundane and laborious. And if I can have the AI do it, then yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's very creative, but yes, it.
And then also
one of the things that burns me out is that mundane part.
Yeah, and then I also want to see if I can create a landing page for a special project that I am working on. That I'm not going to say anything now, because if you want to learn about it, you got to subscribe to our newsletter and follow the instructions in the newsletter, and then I'll give you the URL and you can find out about it.
Folks, I don't even know about this, so we're all in the dark.
I mean, you do know about it. You just don't know what I'm talking about. You're privy to it. But going back to your kind of doomsayer talk, there was a comment from Ilya Sustitskover. I'm probably butchering his last name. I'm sorry, Ilya.
Fucking sucker fucker.
So he is one of the first people at OpenAI, one of the founders maybe, or one of the first engineers. And he left OpenAI to go start his own company. And he said, we should build a doomsday bunker for all the researchers for when shit goes sideways with AI.
Dude, this is sounding more and more like Fallout without the corporation, but it would be corporation. So it's like, yep.
Yeah. I
There's
guess
catches to everything. There are catches to everything. And so just don't be so, rose tinted and white picket fence. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the scary part is when the AI is smarter than us, and we are quickly approaching that period.
And I would even put this, like me using ChatGPT compared to when I used to do a Google search, compared to when I used to ask somebody, compared to when I used to phone somebody and or look in the dictionary or encyclopedia. Because me growing up there, I would go, and they go, the Britannica is right up there. We spent a lot of money to have that for you. So open up the book and figure it out. To now, it might just tell me what to do, or what I was originally saying, I guess, in my head was, I don't have to think. It'll just tell me. Like, I go dum-dum.
Yeah, and that is something that people have talked about. Like, there's going to be new forms of computing, new form factors that emerge, and eventually we're going to get to the point where we have these chips in our head potentially, and it detects our thoughts and just acts on it. And
I never thought about this. And everybody's probably going, yeah, stupid, but you used to draw and do architecture. Now it's design. You still have to use your hands, but very, very little. You used to do this, you used to do that. VR is getting closer and closer. And along with AI, it's going to become closer. Where then, is this going to be like WALL-E, which some people like that movie. It's fine. Maybe I need to rewatch it. Maybe it was cooler than I thought. But bunch of like chubs in a chair, and you just got to use your brain.
So this does bring up interesting questions about where humanity is headed in general, because you can think of it in terms of different trajectories, different plot points that might unfold over the next few decades. Like, it could manifest in so many different ways. And I don't want to get into that now, because we could probably do a whole episode plotting out all the different ways things could go well or go sideways or terribly wrong.
The conspiracy episode.
Oh, we should totally have a conspiracy episode.
It's our own dark web.
This week on Conspiracy Corner in the Geeqoid podcast. I mean, we could just have a segment, honestly.
Halloween, October.
Okay.
That's it.
God, there's going to be so much material come then. But yeah, talking about the future and the way people are thinking about it, I don't know if you saw this because it happened today. OpenAI is buying Johnny Ive's independent startup, IO, for $6.5 billion.
I mean, he was already kind of contracted to work for him, so
Yeah, I mean,
kind of
they
was
were already
waiting for this to happen.
Yeah, so the startup is being acquired and joining OpenAI, and Johnny Ive will be leading design, and his design firm will stay independent, but will be working with OpenAI. They had a 9-minute bougie San Francisco heart-to-heart video where they just wax poetic about each other and their visions of the future and respect for one another, and gave no real details as to what they're working on. But basically they said, stay tuned. They'll announce some stuff next year. So we got to wait at least 8-9 months until we find out what they're working on.
You love when I come up with these quippy little comparisons of like Infinity Blade to Fruit Ninja. And I did it one other time. Johnny Ive is the Andy Warhol of the tech industry. Just weird designs and ideas, and he's like, no, this is the thing.
Yes, and just listening to him, he's got the most melodic British voice. Like, I just want to take recordings.
Is that because we've been listening to it like over half of our lives where we're like, Apple, Johnny?
Maybe. But man, he's got more money than he knows what to do with. So no one is really going to incentivize him being a narrator for a children's book. But
no,
I would listen to it.
Steve had it. He was like, dude, you have to be the one that introduces the new iPhone. The new iPhone.
It's like the fifth long lost Beatle.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, exciting stuff coming from OpenAI and Johnny Ive. We don't know what it is.
It's his company. It's purely design, right?
Yeah, it's a design shop. It's called From Love, I believe.
Huh? From Love?
Yeah, everything they design is from
love. Ah, this is like a... that's cute.
You should watch the video. It's beautifully shot. It's just Sam and Johnny sitting in a coffee shop, just trying to act like two normal billionaires.
Hopefully my wife listens to this after I apologize profusely episodes and episodes ago. But there is a lady in Parks and Rec that I am immediately thinking of where she's like, beige is the new pink. Rocking chairs are the new couch. And I'm like, yes, you are the prima donna stylist person I don't like. But I do love Johnny.
All right. I want to get into Google I/O because this really floored me when I watched it. I watched half of it yesterday. I finished it today. Google is
wait. Before you go, I'm gonna ask this because we mentioned it earlier. Apple is now considering shifting Safari and Google Search to Google Gemini. And then they are looking more into Google's repertoire of things to offer on their phones to audiences. So, with that said, I'd love to learn more from you, Erik, and if some of these rumors might be true.
Maybe. I have thoughts on where Apple stands after all of this, so I want to get that. That'll be the next segment. But first, I'm gonna blow your mind in some ways here. There was so much covered in the 2-hour keynote that Google gave, and I don't know if I've ever been so floored. Like, I thought the Microsoft keynote was amazing, and this one just blew it out of the water.
I'm already so nervous because Apple did the advanced Siri AI, and we were like, oh my God. And we both called each other and FaceTimed, and we were like, this is amazing. What? Today is Wednesday, May 21st, and we're at 18.5.
Yeah. So basically, this is an interesting trend that I've noticed with all these major developer keynotes is that they all center around AI. Like they don't talk about anything but AI. Like that is where all these companies are going. They're investing billions upon billions of dollars building out the infrastructure to support this, and they're not looking back. So.
No, and they're watching everybody else. And if somebody else is talking about it, they better be on point to start talking about it as well. Those investors are like, hey, he's talking about it. What are we doing?
Yeah, so Google's AI brand, model, name, whatever, is Gemini. And so they introduced agent mode, which basically allows you to, secret agent mode.
Oh my God, that was so good. I was going to do the James Bond thing, but you went, yes, secret agent man.
So you basically can give it instructions and it will take action on the web on your behalf. So the example I'm looking at is...
I was like, what? What are you talking about?
You just type into this chat box, just find me apartments in this area at $1,200 a month. And it will generate a list by searching.
What Google search does that, or Google and searching within Google.
All right, I'm just gonna pull it up, so you can see it. I'm gonna go full screen.
Now, if I can talk to it like I do chat, where
you could totally talk to it too.
I can be even lazier, and like there's no muscle movement, no amount of extra oxygen or blood. That's what I'm looking for.
All right, so here's agent mode. So it's typing in, find new apartments every week until our lease is up for me and my two roommates, each with a budget of $1,200 and in-unit laundry or walking distance to a laundromat.
All right, that's pretty detailed.
Yeah. And it's like, searching for apartments based on your criteria. Pulls up a map, pulls up a Zillow listing.
A checklist.
So it tells you what it's going to do. It's like, all right, first up, I'll review the active listings I could find online and save ones that meet the criteria. Then it generates a spreadsheet with all the dates where it was found, the name of them, where they are, the price, links, square footage, beds, bathrooms, and just gives you options to create and take more actions like, refine it this way, refine it that way. Like all that searching that you had to do.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was way over the top of like what I was thinking. Why do they call it agent mode? Did they say why? Like you're being secretive, or like because it's an agent for you to search out? They didn't want to call it Sherlock Holmes, even though that's open. Anybody can take that.
So it has to do with this whole concept of AI agents. So you remember when I was talking about the Microsoft Build keynote, how they wanted to develop the open agentic web. This is the whole concept of...
Open agentic?
Agentic, as in agent. So yeah, these are the AI agents that you deploy on your behalf to go across the web and do things. So this is just one example of that. Now we're gonna get to some really crazy examples.
What we used to have in video games where we could like tell a bot. Was it a bot? That's what we called it, right? And we were like, "Hey, go farm this because it's StarCraft, and I got a lot of shit to farm."
So I think that's why they went with the term agent, is because bot is very old school. It's got a reputation of like it has a negative reputation.
Why you gotta age me, bro?
You can't age the agent. So that was one of the things. I'm looking for another example that kind of goes along with it, and I'm just gonna have to go right to the source for this one.
That's what she said.
So when you think about what we're all like trying to get to,
That's what she said.
The source, yeah, okay. Like this whole concept that Marvel introduced with Tony Stark and his agent is like, let's like we want that for the real world.
Jarvis.
Jarvis, yes, thank you.
It was either that or you were talking about the theater where he showed like his whole life portray with his dad, and I was like, well, that's true too, but oof, that could get dramatic.
So they showed off. So what I just showed you was like kind of like a precursor to that, because like it's taking action on the web, and it's like going about showing you all the. There we go.
P.S. I just now noticed. Have you seen the lovely blanket that's over my...
Oh, with the corgis?
What in the ever-loving... I mean, I love them.
Yeah.
And they all have... I just noticed 2 frappuccinos, so...
Frappuccinos and corgis, two great things that go well together. So... Google T is what they're working on. So right now we have these large language models. What they're building towards is what they like to refer to as a world model, if you will.
I was trying to come up with a really sarcastic joke. What's bigger than a large language?
A world. So let me just show you what they're building towards. And
please. Oh my God, I'm so excited. It is amazing how much influence Apple has had on everything. I'm watching this keynote and I'm like, oh, it's Apple. Oh, no, it's Google. There's a great book that just came out about Apple in China and how they disrupted and restructured the whole international tech market and screwed themselves, but then also helped themselves. It's like the most amazing thing ever. But that's another time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, totally. So we'll get to this. VO, their new video generation model, incredible.
Are they saying that's going to be like Google wise? Like somebody just says it and it just pops up?
Yeah, this is generated just from a line of text. All right, this is...
and you don't have to have Adobe or any other type of program that it will work through, I'm assuming, the browser?
Yes, the browser. So we'll get to that, but this is what I wanted to show you. So this is basically Google creating Jarvis.
Sorry, we're being silent. I'm sick, so I have a space bar. But I did make a lot of really fucking sarcastic comments about his fucking Huffy bike. And like, hey, tell me how to fix this. I pooped all over it. Oh, it's showing him videos immediately. It's not even showing him videos, but it's showing him within that video specifically what he's asking for. And then Boo Boo Kitty Fuck is like, I have a bunch of nuts and bolts. Google, it said something else. Which one should I have? And it said, that one, Pookie, if you labeled it right, or your dad, because he's high school. And it's like, oh, my dad didn't label it right. Shit. It's really good. I've seen this already, so even though they already showed this off.
Oh, you've seen this already?
No, I haven't seen this. But I've seen this example, and it floored me in Katie. So
okay.
It was 3 months ago, also through Google and through Gemini. So, hey, kudos. I was watching a bunch of husbands following their wives on a off-road desert rally with Tacomas and Gladiators and Broncos. And then these yahoos were basically being the goofy guys and being like, we're going to follow them and drink beer and smoke hot dogs and cigars and then track their wives as they go through this grueling torture and they kick back. One of the guys has a Dodge that he decided to lift and do all the stuff that you're probably not supposed to. And they were out in the middle of God's country. The guy that I follow had a Starlink Mini, was able to have signal, and the phone told him through photos and video and whatever how to fix his Dodge van, go to AutoZone, find the parts, bring him back to the desert. So it was like a 3-hour thing, and fix it. And then they continued the video. Crazy.
Do you remember when we had to like pull out the yellow pages?
Yes. You don't even have to like, do you remember? And just stop there. Do you remember when like you had to remember phone numbers? Do you remember when people called you so often and they were like, oh, wrong number, because they dialed a 6 instead of a 9? A, because they look similar. B, because they were right next to each other. And rotary phones, congratulations.
That's what I was getting to
you
next.
messed up all the time.
Yes. So Google is very much working on their version of Jarvis, and it looks pretty dang cool.
It looked really good.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that was all video and whatever, but the idea, they're already implemented. So I've already said that. So with YouTube also, honestly, this will not take them very long. They already have a great foundation.
Oh yeah, they have, and this is what I keep hearing over and over again, is that with YouTube they have the greatest video library on planet Earth with which to train their models.
I forgot what I heard or what the number was, but basically YouTube is now basic cable television for everybody else who didn't pay for this, didn't pay for that, didn't have satellite.
Oh, yeah.
And so there are more subscribers and more viewers on YouTube than, what was it, like 20 years ago with ABC, NBC, and CBS, and still more subscribers or viewers or whatever than most of these streaming services all combined.
Yeah, the paradigm shift is only going to continue to shift.
This will dramatically help that. I mean, to infinite levels.
So I'm just going to go through some other really cool things real fast because there's just so many. There's native audio generation now baked into Gemini 2.5 in 25, 40 languages. So you just enter some text and it sounds like a human speaking, like not your kludgy Alexa voice or your Siri voice, but like actual voice output that can switch between different tones. It can mid-sentence switch to a whisper.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it is very
it's
impressive.
Making me wonder, like, and you said, and you never did give a synopsis, but you said you were going to try all the apps on your phone and iPad and whatnot, and on desktop. But I've been doing chat. Chat's been great, but I really want to try Gemini.
Yeah, so to that point, Gemini 2.5 Pro is now basically dominating the every single leaderboard out there when it comes to AI models. Like when it comes to reasoning or math or coding, like it is at the very top. And
that's got to help too. Like if more people aren't asking it questions, just like Google search and YouTube, like if it doesn't get those algorithms of what people are asking, it won't grow as fast as if another group of people, more people ask another one. So it has more than algorithms and questions and whatever.
Yeah. So Probably the other most impactful thing I saw was their new Imagine 4 image model.
He's rubbing his hands because he doesn't know how to
I'm so
describe it.
Their Imagine 4 image model, their VO3 video model. I'm gonna show you some examples.
I hope you also explain it for the audience. I'm like,
so, and now this new AI filmmaking tool called Flow. So their Imagine model, consider that equivalent to Dolly or Midjourney. You type in a prompt, it generates an image. VO, same thing, only it generates video instead. And now they've built this new tool called Flow, which basically allows you to edit, mix, match, combine what you are creating and manipulate the camera, do all the sorts of things that AI filmmakers have been really pining for.
This would be, you mentioned Tony Stark. This would be an interesting, if you think of it this way, the way I am, or Batman, like I think in Arkham Asylum, you are at a scene or you're trying to understand something. And you're like, no, pan left, pan right. And to see that in real time of something you created, that would be the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah. So here is the video introducing Flow, their new AI filmmaking tool.
Flow. I just want to poop so bad.
I'm going to speed it up just because it's a minute and a half.
Yeah, so if you can say anything while it's going on. Man, unless you want me to describe. Oh, was that really poop? That was great. All right, so some tax. Hey, I'm looking for 1970s taxis, jellyfish underwater. I don't know how that blends together, but we're about to see it. Oh, shit. All right, well, it's a 1970s taxi with some jellyfish floating inside of it. All of a sudden, there's a baby. All of a sudden, there's a person who looks like a lava lamp. And
for a body.
She's also not. Oh, you can extend it.
Extend, shorten, tweak.
Yep. That was camera C of exterior shot. Taxi stopped. It looks really real. There were a couple of old people. They don't do old people very well. They look a little like Disney Up, cartoon-esque, but you would get the idea. Swimming. They're working on that. Water's really hard, though. They've been working like 30 years on that. So
yeah.
Abyss was the greatest.
Oh God,
that was a good movie, bro.
It was a great movie. I love that movie, but
that was awesome.
They didn't nail the water, even though James Cameron tried.
That was also Star Wars too. That was ILM.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm super excited for this. So when I say video generation, it also generates the sound.
Why are you excited for all this? You and I create podcasts. You and I, maybe me more so, create videos. You remember me in college. I was drawing. Why are you excited for this? Now, yes, I should have gotten to the digital age and da-da-da. But, like, that's why I also bought an iPad. That's why I have an Apple Pencil. Why are you excited for this? What is the benefits for us? And don't be a poop face. What are also, like, the negatives? Like, your kid will be the next generation that I feel like, okay, so my generation, we started with architectural design, which I thought was one of the coolest classes I took in high school. By the time, and I waited, college or army and, whatever, I waited, by the time we went to Purdue, or my friends, you don't do hard draft anymore. It's all software, which I thought was also cool because my dad was in that. He was doing that before sign companies were doing it 25 years prior. So he was like bleeding edge. So I'm used to that culture and that even within my blood. And I love digital drawing that you can do those types of things. That's why I have this ungodly expensive piece of glass sitting in front of me and this really, really expensive white pencil that it can do other things other than what a Mac can. Video, though, in video games, start blending it for me because I've been doing it digitally, and now I don't know. It's starting to kind of weird me out a little bit. In video games too, we've been following it a lot more. Again, starting this podcast, and it does weird me out. What are the positives and the negatives? And you are excited. Your face was so excited, but where is some of that? Is the creativity still the same? Is the think tanking still the same?
So, I know there's a lot of people in Hollywood are on edge because it's like it's taking the soul out of everything, and it's going to put creative folks out of work. And I don't agree with that. And I think James Cameron in particular had a good response to all that. I think it was James Cameron. I could be absolutely butchering the...
Could be Disney, what they did with Mark Hamill, but they did it. But they did it with Mark Hamill.
Well, no, so James Cameron, I think, and if I got this wrong, I'm sorry. He was basically talking about how 20, 30 years ago, they were making these miniatures and maquettes, and like that's how you created film. And like
that's true. Yeah, when they were doing
he's like, I don't miss that.
No. When ILM came in and started doing more CG, and George was like, this is the future. Like my dad, like he was bleeding edge. He was the apple of his time. I guess that's an interesting way of looking at it. He's like, this is a future.
Yeah.
And ILM and George Lucas really pushed that to a whole new level.
So I think the tools are always going to continue to evolve, but I think the craft of filmmaking and storytelling is going to persist. Like if you are a crap storyteller and you hop into flow here and you start pumping out scenes of stuff, like you're still not going to produce a high quality film. Like, yeah, your scenes might render well. You might have some good individual shots, but it's not going to be anything that anybody's going to spend their time watching. And so I think true creators have nothing to fear. And
you're saying you still have to build and hone your craft.
Yes, absolutely. Like you still got to put in your 10,000 hours. There's no shortcutting the craft. Yeah, you can generate something pretty, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a different skill set too, which I find very perplexing, because a lot of people are like, oh gosh, you just type in a sentence and you generate this. And I'm like, I can tell you, I have spent hours in Midjourney fine-tuning a single prompt to get to the image that is in my head. And that is burning through all sorts of credits and money. And do you want to spend money on prompts, or do you want to spend time in ZBrush or in Photoshop? And like, it's a different skill set for sure. And some people might consider it a shortcut, but to get the output that you're sincerely looking for, and then to be able to fine tune it and get the details, like it's that last 10% that is always the most costly when it comes to any sort of creative production. And I think that's what all the naysayers are really underestimating. Like I was watching some stuff that on social media, they're like, oh my God, look at these mind blowing, like output from this new Google VO. Like it's going to replace filmmaking. And I'm watching it, and I watch about 10 seconds and I'm like, those characters were sitting in different spots in the vehicle. Some of them had visors on, and then the next shot they didn't have visors on, and then their weapons had changed, and like,
or like even more subtle things. Like I've been watching like just their skin tone, their wrinkles, the tone of their face, like, and then other things, like the AR and the ray tracing. Like, what's the lighting bouncing off of their face? And
it's a level of consistency that is not going to fool humans.
Yeah.
We have not crossed the uncanny valley, as we like to say.
However, it is, which is why we're having
accelerating. It's accelerating.
And the video you showed me, like, amplified that. Like, it's really good, and it's coming. The start of this whole episode, it's coming fast. This is the new Wild West for tech.
Yeah. So. And the pricing is very interesting. So there's a ton of things we didn't get to.
Ooh, it's not free? Stop.
So they also announced a whole bunch of XR devices and developments there. Some also 3D conferencing booths that...
What are XR devices?
XR is augmented reality instead of VR being virtual reality. So... your meta glasses, your glasses that have cameras and that have like a heads-up display, that would be considered XR.
You and I have said that for years, that is what's going to sell way more than Ready Player One, Apple's VR.
Yes, I think they both have their use cases, and the technologies on both need to mature. But we'll get there.
Microsoft started the augmented, but they went pure commercial in, I think, like doctor healthcare.
Yeah, and then they sold their project to Anduril for the military. They had like a $25 billion contract.
Oh my God, I totally forgot that. Because I was like, whatever happened to that? And then I was like, didn't they sell it to the military?
Yeah, I mean, they still have the HoloLens, but yeah, whatever. They just, sometimes you're too early. And I was listening to a podcast that Sergey Brin, the founder of Google, was on. And he's like, yeah, the Google Glass was like, what, 10 years too early?
That's right, yeah.
Like they were all about it, and if we were sitting here, we were talking about it like, oh, there's no way that's going to land, and we were right.
Yeah, we loved it. We thought it was really cool, but we're like,
yeah,
you're it out of nowhere,
So this next generation, they've announced some partners, so they're looking like pretty cool glasses. I think the problem is still battery life on these devices. We'll see what they do about that, but I think there needs to be a breakthrough in battery technology.
That is going to be the thing that
just propels us into the next phase.
All of them. Because Apple's doing it right now. They're trying to do this new Air, which is like getting rid of the old Plus model before the Pro, but then trying to do something cool and quiche with it. But there's new battery tech. However, it's too expensive to use right now, so they're not using it. And so if you really want a really good phone with good battery life, even though this looks really cool and thin, you still have to put a case that has a battery attached to it. But if they could make a phone that thin, that is like some next level shit. Yep.
Yeah. So when it comes to pricing, they announced two pricing tiers. There's Google AI Pro for $20 a month. So the same as ChatGPT.
It's kind of gross, but okay.
Yeah. But you do get some pretty advanced stuff and 3 terabytes of storage with your Gmail.
I don't know what okay. It's a bundle deal. It's the new, oh my God, it's the new cable service. Cable. Holy Jesus. But folks, and I was like, no, it needs to be cheaper than a streaming service. And they were like, no, it's the same, but internet. I was like, but it's, oh, I see where you're going. Good job.
And their Google AI Ultra, which gives you access to this new Flow app.
Ultra? Everybody, Apple does it. And everybody goes, that's a great name.
Do you want to take a guess?
It's not an Ultra Pro, is it? Sorry. Oh, sorry. Are you talking price? Oh,
price,
50,
yeah.
50 to 100.
$250 a month.
Are you fucking with me?
Nope.
Sorry, kids.
So
why?
I heard that, and
why? What is their justification?
Well, here's the thing. Everything that they're like, every query is
touting.
They're not touting. Free. It is expensive to run this AI stuff. So you get get about a minute and a half of generation for like the output of your.
Dude, you're gonna have to pay me because this is not free. Like, this takes time and effort. Fuck you. Get the fuck over yourself. This is the explicit side, the last half of this video.
Yeah, I really don't want to put that explicit tag on it. So that is...
IGN doesn't do it either, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know. Most podcasts I listen to don't do it. But yeah, everything is said. I wanted to get to this. Is this the beginning of the end for Apple?
No. And you really watch Jon Stewart's interview with the guy who wrote that book. It is not. However, it's interesting. It's the snake eating itself. Apple did do this to themselves. Yeah. And
they did not go all in on AI, and they are now behind Microsoft, behind Meta, behind Google, behind companies that didn't even exist a few years ago.
Funny, most of the technology from research and book, Apple helped develop for the other companies to make sure that they could stay in the international markets that all of a sudden wanted to kick them out. And so then they had to create competition by then giving other people their like software innovations and hardware innovations. So I've never heard anything so fascinating that you grew so tremendously, but not in America, where Microsoft got their ass handed to them in the States. And he was like, all right, fine. And they went overseas, and it happened to them over there. And they were like, all right, fine. Huawei, here, Samsung. And then started this weird friendship where, like, we'll use Samsung, we'll use Sony, but also we'll give to Samsung, we'll give to Sony. I've never heard such crazy shit in my entire life. And now we're dealing with this AI stuff. I have no sympathy for Apple. I love them. I am a sheep. I love the entire history of their rise and fall, and their fall is on themselves.
Would you call yourself a sheeple?
Oh, also because that relates to board games? Yeah, bro. If I can actually, I will replace that giant Pikachu with a giant lamb meeple.
Chewing on an apple.
Oh my God. Merch
I will
has
say,
to happen.
We've been Apple fanboys for a while. I mean, we've had iPhones for over a decade. I haven't even considered. I'd scoffed at the idea of an Android.
No, yeah.
But after watching this keynote, this is the first time I'm like, am I gonna switch? Like, they're getting to the point where the integration of the AI is so is integrated into the foundation of their core apps so well. So remember, Apple was, Steve was always like, it has to be the intersection. He showed that old 1984 PowerPoint sign of technology and software. And I think Tim and the investors, because I think it's a combination. It takes two to tango. It's not just Tim. It's not just investors. No, but the investors selected Tim, but then there's been new investors even since then. Tim's been there, but there's been new investors, and there's been new ideas, and then they've seen things, and they say, Tim, and he goes, it's fine, which he has said that a couple times, actually, and then a couple times he's like, all right, cool, we'll swerve. I mean,
I think it's a different market. Their hardware now, I think, is really good. Like,
it's great. It's better than it needs to be.
Oh my God, I put jalapeno in my right eye. That's why I keep rubbing my eye. Because I made pico de gallo just before this. And then I cried a little bit and I was going to rub it. And now I'm dying inside. And I was already died inside with my lungs and my throat. Oh my God, folks, I love you so much. This is the last broadcast you'll ever hear of Jarrad Shaw. I love you, Katie. I love you, Penny, Sadie, Rigby, Erik, Stellan, Rachel. Oh my God. Anyway, Jesus, it really burns. They're advancing on their hardware. Oh my God. Especially I'm really interested in the Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and cellular, and they're doing this crazy combination with the processor, with the CPU, with the GPU. Like, it's some weird shit I've never heard, and they're trying to minimize into then individual packets that then turn into one chip. However, their software is, I don't know where they lost it and where Google and everybody else, oh my God, especially Google, they're really dominating. And people don't see the hardware. They see the software. They see not only visuals, but then how fast things are going, how vibrant they're going.
I mean, here's the thing. Most of the AI is running in the cloud. Not a lot of it is running on device. And it's going to transition, I will say, to running on device at some point. And some of the AI workload will run on device. And Apple will certainly have an advantage when it comes to that because their devices have the most compute by far.
Oh my
and are
God,
the most
yes.
battery efficient.
They're overproduced and, yes, very efficient.
Yeah, but the question is, like, if you don't have the user experience to match it up or back it up.
This goes back to iPad OS. People have just poo-pooed for years since mine. And I'm 2018. I'm still the first gen of the next gen. And they're like, it's too much.
Yeah.
Nice quirk.
We'll see. I mean, Apple has an opportunity to respond here in a few weeks with WWDC in June. But the fact that they're not building their own LLMs and foundational models.
No, I don't think they're going to. I think right now Tim is going to piggyback. I think he's already said it. I think rumors aren't a lie. And he even did it.
Here's the thing. I don't think you can piggyback on this. If you're a tech giant, if you're one of the Fantastic Seven or Fang Six or whatever, like, you can't just piggyback on one of your competitors. Like, it's not going to fly.
That's funny you say that, because I was thinking, like, so they're going from chat to then who the next greatest thing is. So, wow, chat, you were good, but Gemini and Google, they're doing better. So we're going to jump ship and go to them before we can create our own. Thanks so much. And I was like,
but they're using it to do what? Like, oh yeah, I can create a fun Genmoji that I literally have never done before because I don't care.
I understand Steve was a complete ass and he is now a whole generation behind.
But he was a visionary and he would not let this happen to Apple.
The fundamentals of also running a company and getting your shit together, that is what he would say. And he's like, no, we are not getting our shit together.
Apple would be in full meltdown mode if Steve were there.
Oh, it would be a huge fire. Oh my God, the ring that he never got to see would be a ring of fire.
Yeah, and Sauron's eye would have been right above it. You would have seen Johnny Ive being dragged back in chains, forced to work on whatever mysterious device that Steve is going to concoct next.
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we have to cut this part of the episode.
No, he's amazing, and he was also a tyrant.
All right. I heard my kid screaming. I think my wife put him to bed.
That was
I don't know.
7 minutes ago because I heard it at minute 53.
Yeah. Okay. Rumor mill time. Unless you got anything else.
No, if anybody's seen Shadows of the Labyrinth, I was hoping Erik would describe it because I can't because I ramble in ADD.
Right.
So he doesn't want to. So I'll just say, folks, maybe next episode he'll be so awesome as a best friend and a brother that he'll kind of walk you through like what he saw because you can't see it visually. And then that's it. Go Google that. Shadow of the Labyrinth. Looks neat. Bandai Namco doing something crazy. Okay, your turn, Erik. Love you so much.
Oh, man, I forgot. And
that was last episode. And then you were like, let's do it this one.
Yes.
I don't know, actually, if we said we were going to do it this one.
No, we did. We teased it. And then we were going to, it's like a book club that we were going to do.
Oh, book club.
Yeah. And
I watched my video. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, what did you think of it?
I thought it was really cool.
Weird as shit.
Yeah. I can't speak to it because it's been almost a week, and we're recording this episode early because Jarrad's going camping. Are you still going camping, even though you're like under the weather?
Under the weather. The dogs ate my $460 sleeping pad.
What?
It's a combination. We all make mistakes, and sometimes it's a whole combination of once you think back to if this wouldn't have happened. And then this wouldn't have happened, and then like a time loop of like different things that wouldn't have happened. So in the end, it was, and I'm not gonna say it's my fault. I'm not gonna say it's her fault. It is our fault. We both did things that we shouldn't have done, and that led to
leave it at that.
The mattress having a butthole, a gigantic butthole.
Well, now you can take it out into the woods and use it as a poop cover.
I asked her to roll it up so I could put a blindfold on and throw it in the trash can.
Oh.
And I did the cheapest thing I could do, which was a Klarna/shop installment layaway on a new sleeping pad. Because this one is from the company that has the quilt and the sheet that I just bought. Zenbivy, I love you. I would interview you in a heartbeat. My God, your company is great. And so I went, you know what? Full set. Sheet, quilt, buy their mattress too. And so the mattress, a new one, which is also very expensive, even on sale at $260. Is on its way. And in the meantime, we have some backpacking, sleeping pads. It'll be a little chilly, but it'll be fine. That's great. What? Yeah, so we're going camping. Oh, it's supposed to rain too, by the way. Did I mention it's going to rain? And we're still going. So I'm also prepping different awnings and seeing if I can put different kinds of walls on the awnings. I did a 20-pound propane tank instead of a 5-pound propane tank because I might not be able to burn firewood because wood is a natural thing that doesn't like water.
Yeah, soggy wet wood, not good.
But a propane fire pit gives 0 Fs.
Facts.
So, yep, these are new things that I'm dealing with, and we're going. Also,
hell or high water.
I have 4 days off.
Huzzah.
So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Which will also be part of the Minute Clinic and getting me some drugs.
There you go. All right. Time for the rumor mill.
Gossip. I love gossip.
Yeah. Allegedly, the Cyberpunk 2077 sequel, which I didn't even know they were making a sequel.
Jesus, you got me on this one. I had other ones, but all right.
is apparently going to be set in a Chicago-style city. So those of you who are familiar with Cyberpunk 2077, it's set in roughly a West Coast LA style environment. Chicago style.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's south or north, but yeah, it's like LA, San Fran, a blend of both, but it's very West Coast.
Yeah. So apparently we're getting a 2077 sequel. The rumors are also that we'll be returning to Night City. So there might be some elements that they borrow.
Everybody has to be aware that this is very much CD Projekt is like Bethesda. This is a 10-year goal, and they have Fallout. They have the next in Elder Scrolls. For CD, it is Witcher, and they've already talked about the next Witcher, which will
is
be
on Unreal Engine.
Yes. Everybody, we're all excited about Unreal. Go look it up.
Oh, Unreal Fest is happening the week after next, so we'll also have stuff for that.
He wants to go there so bad.
I do, but I can't. But yeah, very exciting stuff that we actually get some details about the sequel. I guess that means there might not be any more expansions for Cyberpunk 2077. Also,
no,
because you could do a multiplayer that never happened.
Well, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't think about that. I think they had too much time to go, ooh, we have a lot of updates. And we told investors and people that it would be out at this time. We should have done a Rockstar and pushed it a year, which also Rockstar knew. So you should have, but that was good marketing. Good on you.
But here's the thing. They're also working on the Switch 2 build.
I don't think that has any effect on what? Are you talking GTA or Cyberpunk?
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, there's no there. It's
their product roadmap.
That is just an emulation and a port.
Okay,
that is a side project,
sir. Shut your mouth. As someone who has worked on ports from devices to devices, it is not trivial. And oh my God, it is the most laborious, mind-melting thing you will ever work on that it just sucks the life out of you.
Do you need a huge team? Is it front burner? Is it back burner? Or is it something you can throw in the oven?
It is not something you can throw in the oven because as soon as you port it over to another platform, all these bugs just jump out of nowhere and you're like, oh, where'd that come from? And then you gotta just take the use case or the play case and dig into it and fix that, and then you're just playing whack-a-mole.
Yeah,
because other bugs appear when you fix some bugs, and
you don't need a huge number of people, and you know you're not going to get a huge number. I don't think, even though people are, you think CD is going to make a shit ton of money off of Switch 2 with Cyberpunk?
Absolutely. It's going to have a larger install base than any of the other platforms.
Oh my God. I love you so much for saying that. I hope so.
And the Switch 2 user base is maturing. All those kids who are playing...
Along with that price.
Yeah, along with the price.
But along with that price, along with that price, also, like, all of the tech that Digital Foundry has shown and released that they've seen, it's all double of everything the Switch was. So shut your mouth, folks. It's pretty good.
All right, my last rumor mill topic, Xbox is apparently in talks with PC storefront owners, including Steam's Valve, to integrate them directly into future hardware.
What? I was okay with the first part. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And I kind of dig that. Like, you could almost do like a Warhammer type of stores and franchises. But to then be like, Valve, like, this is where we need to get into, which is 100% accurate. Huh?
So I think this plays very much into they want Xbox to be on every platform, everywhere, integrate with everything.
Absolutely.
You buy your game, you play it everywhere. And honestly, this feels like a bit of a Trojan horse.
What?
Yeah, like Xbox is like, yes, Steam, come, please be in our environment on our platforms. And then you're stuck here. I don't know. I'm
know
still
about that.
doing the mental gymnastics of how it would work out, but
because Steam has more clout, especially PC.
Oh yeah, and that's what they're trying to encroach on is this PC crowd, but they're not going to be able to make any headway on actual PCs themselves. But I think this handheld format, that the one that we have allegedly coming out or being announced next week potentially, that's based on the Asus ROG2.
Oh yeah. I did look that up.
I think that is an area where Steam might be like, okay, yeah, we could put a native Steam store on your device. I don't know if they're going to try and take any revenue share.
Yeah, I don't know, because they have Steam Deck, and Steam Deck is not a slouch. Yes, this new ROG looks legitimate, but Steam Deck could just, again, come up with their own, like, oh, you're going to do that? Well, we're not going around anyway.
Yeah, but also, here's the thing, like, I'm confused why Valve is making a Steam Deck. I think they made the original Steam Deck because there wasn't a device on the market. Like, they effectively created a new category.
Yes.
And now you have all these other category entrants. You have Asus.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought it was Nintendo. Well, and I still think it's Nintendo.
Okay,
but
yeah.
Steam did this, and once Steam did it, they went, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, once Steam did it for PC games, like, because it's like you didn't want to bring your laptop, and like it was brilliant. But then here's the thing: as much as Steam has invested in making hardware, whether it be the VR headset or the Steam Deck.
Can we also say influence? As much influence as they have?
Yeah. They're not as large as these other major tech companies. They don't have the hardware expertise. Like, Microsoft is designing their computer chips, for Christ's sake. Like,
yeah, I mean, Xbox
Valve is just partnering
Microsoft,
with HTC and these other companies to build these products. Like, it's not their core competency. Their core competency is making amazing games and running a community
flawless,
effectively.
Dude. I mean, it's been the number one. If you had Minecraft, which was the number one for years and blah, 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 as like a weird small example, Steam was the god over the god running all of that as long as I can remember. And I'm the old generation. Nobody after me remembers anything other than Steam.
Yeah, no, I mean, Steam was the incumbent with zero competition. Like, Amazon tried, Epic is trying, there's been a half a dozen other nameless stores like Good Old Games and whatnot, which they're still around, but they don't have the clout that Steam does.
This is a side note, but it still did remind me. Humble was a thing.
Humble Game Bundle, yeah.
But like it's come back. However, it's not Steam, folks. Humble is like almost like a way that if you wanted to get a bundle of games at a decent price.
If I'm not mistaken, they still send you Steam codes.
Oh, do they also do that? And no, I'm serious. Like, I forgot about that.
I think that's how they just package up games. They bundle up the Steam codes, and they're not a replacement for Steam. I think Steam is still getting a cut.
I think you're right. And they're heavily nonprofit. Like, their proceeds go to different charities, foundations, other things in need. So like right now, or last week, because of Doom, they made a deal and they had a whole Doom bundle. This week, I think it's Halo. So Sorry, that was a side note, but I'm kind of glad I threw that in there.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens on the PC handheld front.
That's weird. That's weird.
I'm excited though.
I feel like Steam has more authority, and I'm not saying they're backing down, but it's a weird statement, I guess, for me to digest of like, do you know who we are? Like, we have ran, if there was a monopoly that someone would poo-poo on us on, we've had the monopoly on PC video game streaming library type service for more than a decade.
So
what do you got?
Here's the thing. Valve is such a mysterious company because it is privately held. There's very few leaks. Like, no one knows what's happening behind the scenes. They could be...
allegedly they experiment all the time, and nothing ever, like, there'll be a leak. There was like something, and then that's it. It was like a ghost whisper.
Yeah, and then you never hear from that person again. All right, let's jump into our indie spotlight for the week. I teased this at the very beginning of the episode. I'm very excited for this game. It is from a Swedish developer, and it harkens back to GTA 2 play style, hijinks, all sorts of things. I'm just going to roll the trailer and feast your eyeballs on Deliver at All Costs.
Okay, so we're looking at like what? Like kind of like a GTA. Yeah, you're right. GTA 2.
Isometric view, but it is full 3D.
Yeah, like a 2.5.
Driving around, creating chaos.
Full destruction. The dude backed up in a 1956 Chevy and just like plowed through the brick wall.
Through a golf course.
The graphics are amazing. Is he trying to deliver a shit ton of water? Did he just like careen a toy car through a Porsche? Yes. Yep. Did he just put his face in a pillow because it's also ridiculous? Absolutely.
Destructive environment.
It reminds me of GTA with what's the Goose Game? Goose Game. Where you just like play around and just do whatever.
Yeah.
And there's it's what we wanted to do in GTA and we made it up. This is like, here. No, it's legit. Just have fun. He just hid it in a dumpster. It's cute. Everybody has blue eyes. Beautiful. Beautiful comic book blue eyes. And then a fox that only has one blue eye because we have to be...
So apparently there's a story to this too. Where...
Oh my God, he's getting blown up and there's red radars everywhere. This is good. Everybody look up because it's crazy. Also, it's pretty long trailer. It shows you a lot.
Yeah, and it is
very California.
This game just looks like so much fun. So it comes out
weird
tomorrow,
retro,
May 22nd.
Okay, I got one.
Oh, you got another indie showcase?
Very quickly. So anyone who likes Balatro, Google that. For those who don't know, card games and roguelikes. Slay the Spire. I don't know if anybody knows that game. Weird. Some people don't. There's another one called Monster Train. Monster Train just came out with their second one. The second one, technically, I think either comes out today or tomorrow. But it is another roguelike deck building board game or a board game, card game, where you have to understand these cards, what the devils and the angels are doing, and how to build your deck properly to defeat it, to move on also in a pretty kind of cheesy but cool story, which also I'm surprised they even had a story. I don't think they had to. So that comes out either today or tomorrow. And if you like Slay the Spire, or you're hoping to play Slay the Spire 2, that's coming out soon. If you haven't played Monster Train or even Blatro, which is kind of nuts, play Monster Train and Monster Train 2, which I thought was goofy, but that's cool. The storyline does pick up, and there's a new chapter. It's not one that you have to know, but it does advance the story in the game in Monster Train 2.
All right. There you have it, folks. That's
a 2.5 for one, dickhead.
2.5 for one. All right. That is episode 19 of the Geeqoid podcast. We thank you for listening, for tuning in. Even more so for
listen. I'm not saying anything. He's saying all this. I'm not saying anything. So whatever he says, like, I don't take any credit into. But yes, I do love you, and thank you so much.
And don't forget, our newsletter is dropping on Fridays, and there's a tidbit, a special teaser, like I alluded to at the beginning of the episode.
Mammals.
So sign up for the newsletter, get all the juicy bits and details, and hopefully we're going to impress you very soon with what we have yet to come. So signing off for myself, Erik Wesslen, and
me, Jarrad Shaw.
We are the Geeqoid team.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. My favorite outro. We got to do the thing, each individual, and then the Geeqoid team. Oh, I just want to shotgun in my own little permit and just go across Michigan and start my own business. You guys will get it one day.
Bye-bye.
End of transmission.